Thank you so much. I just really appreciate that. I got to tell you, I really appreciate all of you being here tonight because information is power, and that's what we want to impart upon you tonight, all the information necessary so you can make informed decisions about this project for yourself. If I can go to the next slide, we have a goal of functional zero in this county homelessness. What does that mean? That means that everyone who wants a place to live in this county will have that opportunity to have a roof over their head. And I know that many of you have perceptions about who the homeless are in this community, but I can tell you they span every career and every walk of life that you can imagine. Our service workers, our teachers, nurses that I've known. These are folks that we've been housing. The Board of Supervisors has taken the extraordinary step of allowing us to buy hotels throughout this county in an effort to immediately get those experiencing homelessness off the streets. We have purchased hotels in Redwood City, Half Moon Bay, and San Mateo. We're looking at a hotel here in Millbrae that will be the subject of our discussion tonight. We're looking at another one in South San Francisco. And then we're looking at others in other cities right now for different purposes. But let's talk, and you can see the screen up here, let's talk a little bit about the difference of these. Redwood City, Redwood Shores is the closest one that we have to what we'd have here at the La Quinta. This is a permanent supportive housing unit. There it was 95 units with kitchenettes that we were immediately able to turn into apartments. Literally overnight, within months. To build that today would have been triple the cost that we paid and taken probably 5, 6, 7 years. Those suffering on the streets can't wait that long. 95 seniors who were formerly homeless, folks that worked in this community, were invested in this community, and for one reason or another found themselves homeless, now have a place to call home. I could tell you all stories, the individual stories, the moving stories of those individuals, what they've gone through, how they've suffered. But I'd be here all night. The one on the next one in Redwood City, the Navigation Center, is also part of Homekey, as was the Shores Landing. This is a different type. This is not permanent supportive housing, it is interim housing. We built this in 1 year, 240 units, individual rooms, most of them with their own bathroom, their own shower, with supportive services. Life Moves runs that facility for us. So we bring people into that facility and other interim hotels that we have. We evaluate them. We stabilize them. We give them the resources they need. And then, when they are ready, we move them to permanent supportive housing like Shores Landing, like La Quinta, like the place that we're going to buy in South San Francisco. This is the model. So I want everyone to know, this is not homeless housing. This is not a shelter. This is not interim housing. This is not congregate housing. This is permanent supportive housing. It is run like an apartment complex throughout the Bay Area here. That's how it's run, and it has supportive services, and we'll have Beth Stokes up here in a few minutes talking about all the supportive services that we have there. I just want you to know that 48% of the homeless in this county are seniors, are senior citizens. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you, but that shocks me. That shocks me that our most vulnerable population, almost half of our homeless, are seniors. So let's talk a little bit about how we got here, how we picked the La Quinta. We went out with a request for proposal looking for a permanent housing shelter. And we sent it out through the entire county. 26 respondents answered that RFP, 26 hotels saying we want to sell. we want to sell. We went out, we evaluated them all. Folks, I'm sorry, but there's people in here who want to hear what's going on. So please, you'll get a chance. So 26 hotels. So we evaluated those hotels. We looked for walkability. We looked for transportation. We looked for the ability to bike. We looked for jobs. And the La Quinta scored #1 on our list. It was because they had kitchens in half of those that could be readily converted to studio apartments. The other half we will be converting to studios also. So 99 units of permanent supportive housing is what we're talking about here. What we're proposing to pay for this is $33 million. The asking price was $38 million. But there was negotiation, there was give and take on either side. There's an appraisal report that was done. The appraisal came in at $30 million. Happy to send that out to anyone who wants to see it. If you leave your email with us, I'll get that appraisal report out to you. The $33 million number is within 10% of that appraisal price, which is perfectly acceptable from our standards. We have put in for home key funding to fund this. Right now, we've received more home key in the county of San Mateo than anywhere else in the state. We've received about $150 million total to buy assets to house people. That is incredible. But when you think about this, we are the #1 most expensive place to live in the state, #4 in the country, #4 in the country as far as expense to live here. It is way, way, way cheaper to buy these locations that were formerly motels and convert them into housing than build. Like I said before, this will come out to about $330,000 a door, probably $400,000 a door by the time we're done. To build from scratch is anywhere from $650,000 to $900,000 per door. So you can see that this is why we want to go this route, and the fact that we can turn them over very quickly. Now, Beth and Ray will talk about the fact that these are leased up. They have leases, they have rules, there's regulations. For those who earn income, 1/3 of their income has to go to paying rent. But there'll be services there, wraparound services. There'll be 24-hour folks on site working with the residents around the clock. I've also employed something that we've never done here before because I want there to be a direct contact with the city. I've got a former police chief, Don Mattei, who I'm going to hire as a direct liaison with this community. He is going to be up here at the hotel several times a week, walking the neighborhood, talking to people. If there's an issue, he is someone you can call right away and get to respond. And he can get the resources to respond. We're going to have on-site people, of course, in addition to that. We're going to have services there. We're going to have a front office desk person there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I want to form an ad hoc committee. A couple of council members, community members, our staff, to meet on a regular basis. To see how things are going. Maybe we need more resources, maybe we need less resources. But we're committed, we are absolutely committed to making sure that this works. We will own this property. We take pride in ownership of the things that we own. And we have gone into some of these hotels and fixed them up and made sure they were more presentable than when we got them. But we will be there for the long run. Let's go to the next slide. And we've talked about this, what Functional Zero is. It's easy access. So let's go to the next one. So how do we pick residents for this? That's a big question. Well, we'd love to get some seniors in here, that's for sure. We've got 48% of them in this county that are the ones that are homeless, or 48% represent 48%. We're going to be evaluating nobody is going to come into this facility unless they are evaluated first, unless they are evaluated first, and once they're evaluated, they will come in. And of course, if there's someone like a teacher or someone with no issues who becomes homeless, they could come in also. But we will have an opportunity to evaluate those folks first to make sure it's a right fit here. So why is it that we just can't get homeless off the street? I hear all the time, well, there's homeless sleeping on the street. Why can't we do that? Because the 9th District Court of Appeal has just responded on this. We have got to be able to say that we can house people before we can get them off the street. We've got to have a bed for them to do that. In order for us to get them an interim housing, we've got to have more permanent housing. Housing is what we need. Let me talk a little bit about the loss of revenue. I've heard that as a major issue here, the loss of revenue. The TOT, the Transit Occupancy Tax, it was $390,000 last year. You've raised it 2% to 14%. It has increased a little bit so far this year. It's about $25,000 more than last year so far, and 5 months in. But I can tell you right now, hotels are suffering. And this is no exception. This hotel is no exception. I don't know how many of you saw the article in the Mercury yesterday that this is Bay Area wide. Hotels are suffering. At least once a week we get a hotel calling us asking if we'll buy them. This is a private enterprise, and certainly that he can do that. So what are we going to do for that loss of TOT? I have told the city manager that we will make up the TOT for 1 year, and then we will, well, hang on. No, it's okay. It's all right. All right, well, how about I finish? All right, let me finish. Okay, let me finish now. We will also give them another sheriff's deputy and a clinician and another clinician and a clinician to work on the streets like many cities have gone to now. So that's about the equal amount. Now look, they don't have to take that. They can take it in cash if they want. They can take it in cash, but these are resources. We'll leave that up to the city. We will leave that up to the city to decide which way they'd like to go on that. So we will leave that up to the city. You know, I see some signs here about public safety, keep our children and seniors safe. Your concern is our concern. We want this to be successful. We want this to be successful for those that we're housing. We want to make sure that they live in a safe place, that they become part of your community. These will be permanent residents of your community. We want to make sure that they live in a safe place, that they are safe also, and that everyone's safe. Now, your experience, I think a lot of people think of San Francisco when they think of the homeless. That is not the case in this county. Okay. I can tell you, speaking from experience, that is not the case in San Mateo County. So I can tell you, folks, I'm trying to give you information that is necessary. So we're trying to give you information, and we're trying to answer your questions. So let's try to get through this tonight and answer the questions. I appreciate your attention. I will now turn it over to the Director of Housing, Ray Hodges, to talk more about the housing in this county and how this will be operated. Thank you.